Hello, and welcome back to our Home Sweet Healthy Homes podcast. Wow, happy November, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed last month's episode for our 1-year anniversary special. We had on Sean Glennon from the planning department, as well as we had a little intro mashup going on. I combined all of my introductions from the last year just to go over everything that we've accomplished, everything that we have done. So super exciting, and that was really fun to make that mashup. So I hope you guys liked it, and I also hope you enjoyed the episode with Sean. He was so great to talk to, such a wealth of information, and I'm truly so lucky to not only work with him but also learn from all that he has to offer. So first of all, happy almost Thanksgiving, everyone. This episode is being dropped the day before Thanksgiving, so I want to wish everyone a restful, happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully you don't eat too much, which probably isn't going to be the case for me. I'm probably going to be stuffed like a turkey by the end of it, but it is my favorite holiday, so I'm really excited for it. Such a great time for my family to get involved, to see people I haven't seen in years come to my house, and we have Thanksgiving. So wishing you all a good Thanksgiving, a good long weekend, and a good start to the holiday season. So without further ado, today we're going to be talking about fire safety. So normally here on the Home Sweet Healthy Homes podcast, we discuss topics along the lines of affordable housing, the different programs we have in our office that are funded by HUD. So like our CDBG program, our Community Development Block Grant, as well as our first-time home buyer program from the South Shore Home Consortium, and our healthy housing lead abatement program funds too. But our podcast is named Home Sweet Healthy Homes, so I thought today would be a good time to talk about one of the Healthy Homes principles around temperature and keeping a stable temp in the house, which leads to bit about fire safety. And why not talk about fire safety when we're in the middle of a drought? So I am recording this a week before Thanksgiving. So currently we are experiencing the longest drought, I think, in Massachusetts in a couple years. I did some research before coming here. The chief fire warden with the Mass DCR, Dave Salino, he says the state hasn't seen this much of a drought in 20 years. That is crazy. And hopefully by the time this is put out, that all the fires will be extinguished, and hopefully we get some rain by then. It has been about 3 months without rain, which is crazy. But I did want to bring up some of these fire safety tips also because of the big fire that is happening not too far away from here over in Canton, Milton area, the Blue Hills Battle Brush Fire. While this is a pretty big fire over in Canton, this is just one of 400 fires throughout the state of Massachusetts. So this is due, like I said, to the unprecedented drought conditions that we have currently right now. So a little bit about this Canton fire. So the roads are closed entering into Blue Hills as 100 firefighters battled off a 1 to 2 acre fire half-mile into the woods near Stone Pond. The fire ended up spreading about 20 acres in the first hour, which was crazy, on top of having struggles and difficulties getting the water to the top of the mountain in the first place. So as you can imagine, it's a pretty crazy and hard fire to get out. And so it quickly grew into 40 acres off the side of Hillside Street. Hopefully they've got this under control right now. A couple days ago when I stepped outside, it smelled like smoke here in Quincy. So I can only imagine what it's smelling like right over for those residents that live near Blue Hills and Houghton's Pond over in the Milton Canton area. And it's been said that more than 3,000 acres across Massachusetts have burned this year from a fire, which there's no ignition in nature causing these fires, such as lightning, leading to all of these fires being man-made, which is crazy. Let's talk about some safety tips. As I just mentioned, most of these fires are being caused by humans. So let's talk about some ways we can decrease our chances of starting a brush fire or any sort of fire around our neighborhoods. Let's see how you can keep your house and your neighborhood free from flames for this drought. First of all, you should install, if you don't have it already, smoke alarms, and you'll want to install a smoke alarm in every sleeping room and outside every sleeping area. And you want to test those alarms every so often just to make sure they're still working. You know, they could run out of batteries, there's something could be wrong with them. So you want to check and change the batteries at least once a year when the alarm starts chirping, which could indicate that there is a low battery. And you do want to replace the whole smoke alarm, not just the batteries, the whole smoke alarm almost every 10 years, give or take. You also want to create a fire escape plan. So make sure you plan and practice an escape route out of the house with all of your family members to make sure that everyone knows multiple ways to escape a room if you're trapped in the house and it is burning on fire. And then always designate a safe meeting place outside, so no matter who gets out or when they get out, you all know to meet at this one place outside of the house. Another big cause for fires is the overloading of electrical circuits. So you do not want to overload electrical outlets, power strips, circuits, as they can overheat and cause a fire in your house. And with these drought concerns and all these wildfire startings, it could cause one, especially if you live near a woodland area, such as myself. My backyard backs up to the forest, so it would not be good and would probably cause a even bigger fire. And make sure with those electrical cords, they're kept in good condition and they are not fried or damaged, and if they are, make sure to replace those as soon as possible. In terms of cooking in this drought, make sure, you're never leaving your food unattended. You're staying in the kitchen if you're frying, you're grilling, or you're broiling, and keep all flammable items away from the stovetop. So dish towels, paper towels, oven mitts, anything that could light on fire, make sure you're keeping those away from the stovetop and anything that could start a fire. And you always want to have a fire extinguisher in your kitchen. So, if you're listening to this and you're possibly at your house or whatnot, do a little look around your kitchen and see if you do know where your fire extinguisher is. Or maybe if you can think off the top of your head and you know where it is, that's great too. I'm trying to think where mine is in my kitchen, and I think I know where it is, but I'm not sure. So I'll definitely have to double check when I get home just to make sure I'm following these rules too. While in the kitchen, we want to make sure that we're storing all flammable liquids away in their proper containers from the heat sources. So gasoline, paint, any sort of cleaning agent spray that you have. We want to make sure that these are all away in a container so they don't by accidentally light on fire, which would not be good. Especially with the winter coming in and the weather getting a little bit colder, we want to make sure that we're checking our heating systems. So your heating systems, like your chimney and your vents, are cleaned and inspected. Also, which I use space heaters quite often, so I should definitely, pay more attention to where I'm putting them. But make sure that you're not putting any space heaters near flammable materials, beddings, curtains, furniture. I know that I use one in my office, so I definitely want to make sure it's free of any paper or I do use a blanket, so blanket, just because you never want to be the person that starts the fire. So might as well just keep that in mind. And always turning off the space heaters too when you're like leaving the room or going to bed when you're not going to be there for a period of time. As well as we also, especially in this drought, want to make sure that all of our outdoor activities, we're avoiding those that can spark a fire. So we're avoiding mowing the lawn, using power tools, or even smoking, as the exhaust and the smoke from this could start a fire too. Which, while we're in this drought, you have to be extremely cautious and mindful, as the air is really dry and it's windy, that anything could start a fire with any of those. And for any of my candle lovers out there, want to be extremely cautious with that open flame. Maybe consider using battery operated candles, or something that I've been recently liking a lot are these candle warmers. So you're not using an actual flame and the candle is never actually lit, but what happens is that there is a light bulb warmer that warms up the candle and essentially melts it and gets the smell out right there, so you don't have to use the flame, which is really nice because I just leave it on all day while I'm maybe cleaning my room or watching TV, and it still gives out that nice candle smell without me having to worry if I'm stepping out of the room for a second or whatnot, which I love my new candle warmer, and I don't think I'll ever go back to a flame as long as I have this candle warmer, which is nice too. So some more localized to Quincy fire safety tips. Since we are by coastal range, with Quincy being located on the coast, we could experience some different and unique fire risks related to the wind-driven fires. Like I mentioned, it is high wind and no rain. These more rural and wooded areas could stir up fire with all the dry vegetation and dead leaves and whatnot. For these marshy areas, these woodsy areas with that wind coming in from the water. And as always, the normal stop, drop, and roll, get out of the house, don't take anything, call 911. Fire department is working hours in and out to make sure that these fires are getting extinguished and that everyone knows the proper fire safety rules as well to getting these local fires out. And hopefully with the incoming rain, we won't have to worry about that anymore. I do have some updates from the Office of Healthy Homes. Randolph is now officially a community in our South Shore Home Consortium. So what does that mean? That means that you can now apply with Randolph houses to our first-time homebuyer program. Reminder that is up to $40,000 in down payment assistance. And this will be a deferred loan, meaning you don't have to pay us back until you sell, refinance, or take out a home equity loan. So definitely something you should check out now that we have added Randolph in there. I'm super excited. We were working on them for a while, so it's great to see that they're finally with us. We wanted to thank you all for an amazing and exciting Great Lead Week hosted at the end of October. Robert Clark, the magician, was awesome, and he was so great with both the families, the kids, and the adults. Really captivating and kept everyone involved for the whole duration of the show. So I'm really excited and I'm really glad that we had him on here. So I wanted to thank you all for a great Lead Week. With Thanksgiving coming up, I noted that I love seeing all my family, which is great, but we are gathering big groups of people in maybe a small room. So we want to keep those germs down and washing our hands a lot so that we can stay healthy during the holiday season. I would say it is the best time of the year coming up. The holiday season is one of my favorites, which leads us to Lunar New Year coming in February. So mark your calendars for Lunar New Year. We're going to be having stickers and pens and frisbees, so you definitely don't want to miss out on that. As always, please feel free to give me a call, 617-376-1055. You can email me, Ktenney, Ktenney, at quincyma.gov. If you have any questions at all, if you want to talk about maybe application status or if you're eligible. If you're curious with something, feel free to give us a call whenever you want. I can help you out with that. Well, I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving and a great holiday season. Yeah, and a good weekend. All right, have a good rest of your day. Bye.